Welcome everyone to the 21st episode of Frontend News Podcast. We are thrilled to show you 5 excellent news, but first thing first, Tommy, how's your week?
Chris, I need to prepare the template for the answer because every time I'm answering that it was amazing, it was perfect, blah, blah, blah. But this time I will say something else. So my week was good. How about yours?
Tommy, thank you for asking. My week was perfect. It was perfect because I know you're gonna be a host at Global React Summit, which is very soon. Guys, I strongly recommend you to check this one. Tommy, any words about this?
Yes, it's a huge honor to be a host on React Global Summit 2021. It's one of the biggest React conference on the world. So I'm really happy and I feel excited about it. There are big names from big companies, from Microsoft, Netflix, Amazon, Red Hat.
Frontend House.
One big name from Frontend House.
Exactly, guys.
Just kidding.
Tommy, congratulations. I really enjoyed this. Let's see how it goes, but in the meantime, let's check agenda. I think that first one is gonna be about Gatsby 4.0, right?
Yep, I know that we spoke about the Gatsby 4 beta last episode or last 2 episodes, but this time I just want to mention something more about Gatsby, but let's wait for more details after the agenda. And the second news is about React Native testing library, which has a new version, the 8th one.
Next one is gonna be about React Bootstrap,
Chrome 95 release.
And finally, Node version 17. Guys, let's see the intro and let's get started. So we watched intro. I hope you guys like it. Maybe we will change it in future because it's like 21st episode with the same intro. However, in the meantime, let's jump into the news and the first one about Gatsby. I'm curious, what's in, Tommy?
Yep, as I mentioned, we spoke about Gatsby 4 beta last episode or last 2 episodes, so I don't want to dive into a lot of details. I just want to mention that the Gatsby 4 finally has been released, so it's no more beta. We can use it as a stable version. So guys, if you want, you can update your project. I just want to quickly summarize what's in. The biggest features that were added in the newest version is, for example, the deferred static generation, which is a new mechanism for how Gatsby generates static pages. Server-side rendering has been also added to the Gatsby 4. Parallel query running, rebuild, deploying pipeline, new CMS integration API, which makes much easier to integrate Gatsby with most of the headless CMS that are on the market, and React 18 future proofing, so it will be easy to switch to the newest version of the React, and much more from the minor things to inside. And as always, guys, if you want to check the details, links are in the description under the video, so check it out.
I was wondering what's like your personal opinion about Gatsby and Gatsby 4. Do you find it better than Next? Do you use it Next generally and Gatsby from time to time? How it works for you?
Well, the Gatsby was the first framework over React I was working with to handle the static site generation, and it was pretty cool those days. And then Next.js has been introduced, and I fully switched to Next.js because it offers more mechanisms under the hood. I mean, handling the server-side rendering was working those days in Next.js, and in Gatsby does not. And there were more features in Next.js that were giving us, more boost to the development and help to split the code that was running in the client browser and that was generated statically or rendered on the server. So yeah, Next.js came to me with more understandable tooling, I would say, and easier configuration. But, it depends. Gatsby 4 or, even Gatsby is still a cool framework, a cool tool that I really recommend to use. And it's not like I'm fully stick to the Next.js. Gatsby 4 is also good. It's well optimized. It has a good performance. Now it will handle also server-side rendering if you want to use it, and it's really easy to integrate with all of the headless CMS, which makes it really cool. What I really like in a Gatsby, it was working with the GraphQL. I remember we have configured API to build the
works
GraphQL.
With GraphQL, cool. Come on.
Sorry,
Tommy. Next.js works with GraphQL as well, right?
Yes, I know. It depends on the configuration, to be honest. Maybe it's not so huge argument, but I remember that Gatsby has really easy integration with the GraphQL. Don't remember if it's by default. I need to check it out, but maybe not. But yeah, I like Gatsby too. If I have to pick between those two, obviously I would go with Next.js. But if I will have to work with Gatsby 4, okay, let's do this.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, Tommy, I couldn't agree more. Let's have a look, let's check. Let's use both and make your own opinion, guys. But in the meantime, let's jump into the next news, which is
React Native Testing Library version 8.
Tommy, do you use it? You write tests?
Oh, tests. No, we don't have budget for that. We don't have time. Why we should do that?
Every business says so. Exactly.
But to be serious for a while, tests are really important, and we have a bunch of tooling, plenty of different libraries and tools to help us writing tests, unit tests, integration tests, end-to-end tests, all kind of tests. But let's focus on the React Native. So I don't know if you are familiar with testing the mobile apps done with React Native, but still the concept about testing is the same as for the React, because I know you are familiar with React testing library. So exactly, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so React Native testing library is something similar but dedicated to test the React Native app instead of the web one. And you are able to test all the components and structures being done with the React Native. Well, under the hood, there is a really hard implementation. I don't want to dive in this chapter. Guys, if you want to do this, do it on your own. It's not so easy, but usage of this library is well explained in the documentation. We've got some breaking features in the newest version, which is update about throwing errors. So now when the event handler is not being found, we do not receive an error which won't collapse the test. I don't know why they done this. Like, I didn't find the explanation for that, because if I would be the developer for those library, if something won't work, I would obviously want to throw an error and inform the developer that hey, something is not working. But maybe it was an internal error done during the development, so I don't know. But for now, you will not receive an error. Use real timers inside to internally fix awaiting fake timers. So this update is around fake timer and how it's being implemented under the hood. And those changes are like, the breaking one. So you should not be probably forced to update your implementation. But keep an eye and track those changes, because if something will break, probably it's because the fake timers.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you for the update. I must say that today you are very well prepared. For the all previous news, you were like, let's check the documentation, check this. But today?
Thank you, Chris. Because all the time I'm presenting news, before I do this, I open this article, news, video, any kind of material I'm gathering for you, and I need to go through all of this and decide if it's interesting or if it's not. So everything stays in my head.
Guys, before we jump to the next news, if you want to work with that kind of guy, as you see, he is very well prepared. He knows everything about frontend. If you want to work with him, just jump to our website, frontendhouse.com, check the join us section, and join our team. And with this smooth transition, let's jump to the next news, which is React Bootstrap, right, Tommy?
Yep, React Bootstrap version 2. And what's inside? Inside we can find the incrementation of the Bootstrap library, which has been updated from the 4th version to the 5th version. So that's the mainly thing inside React Bootstrap 2. And I'm really happy that Bootstrap is still so strong on the market, because I used that tool plenty of times. And
I'm not a big fan, to be honest.
Why not? Why not? What is the purpose that you're not like, Bootstrap?
I found it a little bit redundant. I mean, when we work on project, they are always custom, and we need to write a lot of custom code. Anyway, maybe I'm not that super, skilled Bootstrap developer after all, but I feel that when we build something custom for our customer, for us it's easier to build our custom components, custom mixins, and so on, instead of using Bootstrap with like plenty of redundant code after all. So I'm not a big fan. I found it like when we build something internal, when we build like quick MVP or prototype to just proof of work, proof that something might work, I will use like Bootstrap or Material UI or something like that. But for like production ready project, I always go with custom codes. What do you think?
That makes totally sense. I use Bootstrap to prototype some proof of concept, or to prepare MVP, but mostly for the dashboards products. Because if we are talking in terms of the landing pages or any kind of web apps that should also looks attractive, and go with the current user experience and user interface hot trends. Obviously it needs to be custom, but Bootstrap offers really great set of tooling if you want to build a really fast front-end layer and mostly focus on the functionalities and for example on the business logic on the backend. That's right. So
there is
I agree with
you. There is also one good thing about Bootstrap. So usually when we build like component and we want to have it very reusable, we often check Bootstrap documentation and we try to match our custom component like documentation to like Bootstrap component documentation, because they are really well with this. I mean, let's check the buttons, let's check the grid and everything they prepared. Like it's super reusable. That's why when we build like our own components, we'll tend to like check Bootstrap documentation and try to reflect this in our custom code. So still very good. Good idea to have it.
Well said, my friend. Well said. So I think it's a good time to jump into the fourth news.
Chrome release? Chrome release.
It's Chrome release. It's a 95 version of the Chrome. So it's almost 100, but still we have some time before 100th version of the Chrome will arrive. It's next year probably. There are some changes, obviously, as always. Maybe not breaking changes, but worth to mention is that the URL pattern is a new API that has been delivered with the Chrome 95, and it helps to work with the routing pattern. For example, if you want to create a pattern for some files that you want to fetch and load into the browser, you can use URL pattern to iterate over, let's say, the whole directory. And it gives a new set of tools around working on the routings. So,
that's good.
Yeah, worth to check. Picking colors with the eyedropper API is a totally new thing. So if you want to give the user the possibility to choose the color, you will now be able to use the eyedropper API, which has been done by the Microsoft developers team, and it will give the possibility to, pick color in an attractive way. So another thing worth to check. And third thing about the security. So the user agent reduction is an effort to reduce passive fingerprints surface. So it means basically that information contained inside the user agent will be slightly reduced to display the informations only about the browser itself and environment of the browser instead of sending a lot of data about the user, because it helps to track the user, and it could cause some security issues. Good bunch of updates.
Maybe a potential issue for all these projects, I guess, because we were often scanning user agents to detect the browser, the iOS, even machine that user use, and display proper content for proper setup. So I'm wondering if it won't cause any issues. Probably we'll see in close future.
Let's see. And yes, about the security, I have news outside of the list I have prepared.
No way.
Can I share it with you, please?
Of course.
Okay, so last day, I don't know if you heard about it, but yesterday there was a problem with the library. User agent parser. It's UI parser JS library, which has been hacked, and some malware has been put inside that library, and it's the UI parser JS is the dependency for millions, tons of the projects all over the world.
Even ours.
Yes, and those malware infect your laptop, infect your machine, and inject the code that will track your passwords and even install the cryptocurrencies mining stuff. So, guys, just check it out if your machine is all right, if you have the correct version of the UI parser JS, because it's serious security problem nowadays. And I believe that this situation should open this discussion in our community about how open it should be our front-end app environment, how often we should track the changes in all of our dependencies. Should we, have the configuration that allows to automatically install the newest versions, or we should freeze the dependency version and track this manually. And we should also think about the security, and if we need to use so many different tools that are not under our control.
Apparently we need, and you are right. This happens from time to time, and I think it's gonna be real issue in the near future. So let's see. Let's observe this. But it's serious backdoor for hacking applications. So
Exactly, and front-end apps are really hard to secure. I know that there are a lot of articles about, modern web and Web 3.0 that use, for example, the blockchain technology to secure those apps. But this is the topic for another episode, maybe. But still, I believe that we should focus more on thinking about what we are using, why we are using, and how we are using.
Guys, wow, it was perfect summary, Tommy. You are a very mature developer. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
And with this extremely sweet ending of Chrome release topic, let's jump into the last news, which is our lovely guest, Node, and its update.
As always, Node.js in almost all of our episodes. This time, I'm proud to announce that we received the 17th version of Node, which will be the new candidate for the stable release in next couple of months. So now the version 16 something became a new stable release. So if you want to track the newest changes, switch to the 17th one. The newest version of the Node includes the OpenSSL 3 that will help to secure your app even better. The V8 JavaScript engine has been updated to the version 9.5. And the last update worth to mention from the Node is that we have a new interface that helps us reading the data from the readable streams one line at a time. And so those three things are mostly the biggest one, but under the hood there are a lot of smaller updates and fixes, and it will be developed day by day. We'll receive a newer version of the Node 17th something. And
we're gonna talk about this in the next episode. I'm
yes, as
sure
always.
we're gonna speak about this. And so, Tommy, that's it for today, right?
That's it. I have no more news for you. I prepared 5 news
So
plus
sad.
1 extra.
Thank you, Tommy, and thank you, guys. Thank you for being with us. Such a lot of subscriptions. We love you. And yeah, follow us more, subscribe us more, like our videos, and
yeah, please leave a comment. We want to speak with you. So if you have any questions, if you want to ask something, if you want to suggest something, just leave a comment under this video, subscribe our channel, like this video, check out rest of the videos, and stay with us. Stay tuned.
Yeah, and guys, see Tommy K on 2 nearest conferences. Yeah, it's gonna be rockstar.
Hopefully. Finger crossed. Thanks, Chris.
See you, Tommy. Thank you. And see you guys. Whoa.